Hello, and welcome to Seeds of Success. My name is Dottie San Martin.
And I'm Jay Nephew. We're back again, and we're going to talk again about communication. In one of our previous seeds, we talked about verbal communication, but today we're going to talk about nonverbal communication.
You know, nonverbal communication is really interesting. It really taps into all of our senses. So, one of the things with nonverbal communication is to be aware of the facial expressions and the look on the face. Even when part of the face is covered up,
Don't use the mask as an excuse to not practice good
That's
facial.
exactly right. Your facial expression is generally your face is the first thing that people see. They look at your eyes. And despite the fact that you may have a covering on your face, your eyes still tell a story. Your eyes still tell if you're happy to see them or if you're not having a very good day.
Right. And you may not be aware that your facial expressions change even when you're in the middle of a positive conversation. I'll be honest with you, my friends and my coworkers have told me that I often have a weird face when I'm in the middle of thinking about something while they're speaking, and it translates as being offended or being angry sometimes. And in reality, I'm neither of the two. I'm just in my own mind thinking about what they're saying or what I might be wanting to say. So be aware of their facial expressions and how they could impact a potential guest, customer, or an employee.
The other thing to be mindful of is, the body position, the way you're carrying your body.
What do you mean, Dottie?
It's exactly, it's very easy to tell when, and I'm going to use an employee as an example. It's very easy to see when an employee would much rather be someplace else. The shoulders are drooped, the eyes are sad.
They're not making eye contact with you. They're looking
That's
past
right.
you or
They're
through
off
you.
in la la land. The same thing goes, Jay. I just could tell that you were very disconnected with this conversation when you put your arms
Yeah,
together.
it's so crazy. Look, I'm going to deliver the same message to you that I delivered before, but with my arms folded, I might come across as being aloof or not caring what your response is. But when you take your arms down, and I haven't changed the tone of my voice, it does send a different message. So be aware that your body positioning is very important with nonverbal communication cues.
Yes. Another thing that we should be mindful of when it comes to nonverbal communication is the importance of listening and how it can be perceived that you don't care if you don't be mindful that you need to appear to be listening. And by that, I mean when I'm speaking to someone, look them in the eyes, make eye contact with them. It's okay, as you see, Jay is listening to what I'm saying. He's
I'm
acknowledging that
nodding my
he's
head. Yeah.
hearing. That's very important behavior to exhibit so that the person that you're communicating with understands that you're listening and what they're saying is important. And the opposite of that, if a customer comes up to you and they have something they need to discuss with you, and you're on your way to the snack bar and you just keep walking and you never look at them, that customer is going to assume that
You're being
what you're
dismissive.
telling,
Yeah.
that's right, absolutely.
So, the other thing about that is, like Dottie said, be present, be with that person when you're listening and when you're speaking. It's easy to do. It's easier to do it when you're listening because I have to be mindful. But when I'm speaking to you now, it's not the time for me to turn my head and say, yeah, Dottie, go ahead with that. That's dismissive right there. So be present at all times, speaking and listening.
You are so right, Jay. And the other thing is kind of along the same lines of that is be aware when someone, especially if you are working at the front counter
Ooh.
or the snack bar and you're the person on the register, be aware when someone comes up, especially if there is a little bit of a wait involved, you want them to know that they're just as important as that customer in front of them. So at the very least, make sure that you look up and glance at them. A quick smile is worth a lot, and just, I'll be right with you. That goes a long way in communicating. You're just as important and you're just as valuable, and I'll get with you as soon as I can.
Yeah, I can't tell you the number of times we've gone to any type of food service facility or place where you have to place an order or wait to place an order, and there's a younger person or even an older person behind the counter, and they're just focused on that one person in front of them, and they don't even want to make eye contact with anybody else. It's frustrating. I'll wait 2 hours if I know that you're smiling and you're like, within just a sec, you know, and you're like, it's not rude to say to make eye contact and nod to someone while you're taking this person's order. It's actually, you know, it shows the person that you're taking the order that there are other people that are going to be waiting, and you're going to give them the same amount of time you're giving this person. So be aware. This is something that you have to, I think we end up teaching younger generations this more so than not, because it's soft skills and they're not learning them as quickly as we did back in the day, mainly because of things like this. I think they don't have as much of a need to learn those soft skills. So help your staff along with the soft skills.
And Jay, this also this marries very well with the verbal communication, because this is also that opportunity to personalize your communication. So not only could you look up and smile and let them know one moment, but if you look up and you see that that's, you know, one of the customers that you know by name, call them by name. That gives them that feeling.
Oh yeah,
I'm really important.
Absolutely.
So the nonverbal and the verbal work very well to give out a message. The one thing that sometimes people fail to realize, though, is that nonverbal communication also is given off by your center itself. So by that, I mean, you know, as I said earlier, all of your senses come into play when we talk about nonverbal communication. And when you walk into a bowling center or entertainment center, and there's a smell that's not quite right, you immediately, that's communication.
Or there's a clutter that you see immediately.
That is communication.
Yeah.
When you walk in and you see something that needs repairing, that is communication.
Right.
And so, you know, a stroll through the center from time to time from a customer standpoint to better understand the message that your center's nonverbal communication is giving off is definitely something that I recommend.
Definitely. Don't forget about the look and the feel, the smell, everything that goes with a customer's experience is nonverbal if it's not being said to them. So, you know, Dottie's got 5 points here that she's going to review with you, your 5 takeaway points. Dottie?